Hey guys, it's DC here, and today we're doing episode 2 of Last Week You Asked Me.
Raise the alarm!
So, as per usual, we're on cybersecguidance.com/forum, and we're going to go over a bunch of questions that have been asked last week that I'm now answering for you this week. So, kicking straight off, we've got a question here from R. Cavendish, it was a question from YouTube. He said, is data structures is essential for CyberSec? And yes, data structures are sort of, the building blocks of everything IT. So you definitely need to know what you're talking about when you look at data structures, especially if you're doing like pen testing or something like that. So yeah, it's pretty important. It's also important to know, I guess, if you're building like a firewall or something based off like a virtual machine, and it's like a virtual appliance, right? You're going to need to know about that organization's data structures before you build that. So yeah, pretty important. Next question is also from R. Cavendish, and he asks, Kali or Parrot? My personal preference is Kali, just because it's what I'm used to using and I like it, I guess. I don't know, I'm kind of stuck in my own ways, in my old ways as well. So yeah, I prefer to use Kali over Parrot, but that's not to say that Kali or Parrot are better than each other. They're just a set of tools to use for the job. They're not really like everything, right? So they're just operating systems. They're not going to make you better or worse at pen testing or offensive or defensive security. They're just options that are out there for you. Next question is from an anonymous person, and it says, how do I stay motivated? That's a pretty big question, but I'll try and make it nice and short for you. So I guess if this is in regards to study, a good way to stay motivated is to take breaks in between checkpoints. So what I mean by that is to set yourself a goal. So you have like, here's the beginning, and then you want to get to the next stage, whatever it is, and that's like you need to break it up into segments of goals. So say, okay, I'll do this bit and this, and then make that a goal, and it's just like objective, right? So you just keep going from this goal to this goal to this goal, and you'll eventually get through. I find another really good way to I guess stay motivated is to have someone there to help you stay motivated. So like a motivational partner of types. And what I mean by that is to make someone aware of what you're doing and that you have a plan to have it finished by a certain date. And then they're going to keep you on the ball there, and you should probably tell them as well, say, I want you to, really get up me if I haven't finished this by this stage. And that way, they're going to help to keep you motivated and moving forward, instead of just sort of getting stuck in a rut and then going back to playing World of Warcraft. Sawe asked, how do I get started in cybersecurity without doing college? There is a video that I made just for this question because it was such a massive question. So go and check that out. I'll put a thing up wherever they go, so you can check that out. And yeah, that's a pretty good video actually, so go and watch that. This was another anonymous question. What should I learn before I start my bachelor's degree in cybersecurity? I kind of already did a video on this as well, but the quick answer to that was learn some Python programming on the side. Learn Python, learn a little bit about network fundamentals, and those will sort of get you started in cybersecurity without getting you too deep into it, because you're going to start learning that stuff in your bachelor's degree anyway. So that's probably the best way to go about learning those different things before getting into your bachelor's degree. Someone called Rubbish Collection asked, "Hi DC, does any coding involved with your current job role?" Yep, a little bit. It's mostly like automation tasks though, so nothing too serious. What I do is there's a little bit of Python scripting in there just for automation tasks, and also a little bit of PowerShell scripting. So if you can even call that coding, I'm not sure. I tend to say no, I wouldn't call that coding at all. But yeah, I guess it is sort of coding. Like, you need to know the language to be able to code it, but it's very, very basic level. It's super easy. So those tasks are usually just to make things easier again for myself, or if there's like a really long thread or something that you need to sort through. You don't want to do it yourself because you'll be there for years. So you get a program to do it for you. And that's basically what those tasks are, as well as helping out like sysadmin guys do PowerShell scripts or Python scripts, I guess, for network admin guys to automate their tasks like firmware updates and checks on systems to make sure the backups are running and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, there is a little bit of coding, but it's not really coding. It's mostly just basic scripts. The last question here is from a name I definitely cannot pronounce, Megawithrithi, and he has said, "I've been advised to learn scripting on Windows and Linux as a good step towards CyberSec. On Windows, I presume it's PowerShell scripting, and if so, how necessary is it to learn C# in order to understand the .NET framework?" Good question. Learning C is not, it's going to help you learn the .NET framework, I guess. But if this guy's talking about PowerShell scripting, it's basically what I just said. You're going to be running a whole bunch of different scripts through PowerShell that are quite basic. They're just automated tasks. And a lot of the time, they're going to be something around Office 365. That's usually what they're all about. But I'm sure there's lots of other automation tasks out there that you can do. For example, there's PowerShell hook-ins, I think they're called, for add-ins for Veeam, as well as VMware. You can check if there's any snapshots that have been left open, which you don't really want, especially if they're dynamically expanding. That's going to cause some problems. And yeah, PowerShell is pretty powerful, and it's quite useful to know in pen testing later on, because if you can get root access with PowerShell, you can pretty much control everything. You can delete users, you can copy them, you can really mess stuff up. So yeah, PowerShell is definitely worth learning. If you want to get to know the .NET framework, yeah, I guess you're going to have to learn C and ASP.NET and stuff like that. But how necessary that is, I'm not entirely sure. It depends what sort of role you're going to be getting yourself into. But yeah, that's pretty much my answer to that question. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please do subscribe, like it as well. It helps my channel grow a little bit. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Catch you later.
You come to bed.